सर्व वेदांत सिद्धांत गोचरम तम गोचरम गोविंदम परमानंदम प्रणतोस्मि गोविंदम परमानंदम वंदे जगद्गुरुम. Once in a while, I think I have to see the verse, okay? Because so many thoughts, so many texts, so many things I am looking at. To be very honest, this is not right. However, as we have been discussing about different koshas, in the last class we completed Manomaya kosha. And one of the greatest logic that we saw last class, that drushtaha cannot be drashta. In fact, there is a text called Drishya Viveka, again attributed to Adi Shankaracharya, related to this. So that which is seen, drishtaha, cannot be drashta, seer. That means I am able to visualize my mind. Even though other things are there, it comes, it goes. Of course, dukhatmakatvat, it is, gives only misery, nothing else. And of course, this is also vishayhetutvat, object of knowledge, because I am able to identify, I am able to know. But most important thing is, you can say, you can dismiss anything and everything. Look, in my meditation, I visualize, I see, all these things, what you can change your tone, voice and everything. There also it is being said, hey, look, in your meditation also, you see your mind, okay? The moment you see mind, that which is seen is not the seer. So with that, Manomaya kosha was also dismissed. And we have seen it in details. Now it comes to Vijnanamaya kosha. Interestingly, let us look at very nice way we're putting it here. Buddhir buddhrindriyai sardham savritti kartu lakshanah Vijnanamaya kosha syat pumsah samsara karanam. Actually, the first, let us say, verse of this Vijnanamaya kosha description highlights that. Look, pumsah means purushasya, sansara karanamiti Vijnanamaya kosha. See, if we are born today, it is because of Vijnanamaya kosha. If there is any problem in our life, this is because of Vijnanamaya kosha. So anything and everything, for that you can blame this poor Vijnanamaya kosha, okay? He's really now poor, okay? Poor, but don't worry how smart he is, you will see, okay? Why? Because buddhi buddhindriyai sardam. That means buddhi, our intellect, where the decision making faculty, along with buddhindriyai, so buddhindriyai means jnanendriyai, with the organs of perceptions. So buddhi with 5 organs of perceptions, and of course savritti. So vritti means thoughts. Savritti means with its modification, okay? Because decision making cannot be done just like that. Decision making has to peel layers after layers, okay, analyze this way, that way, all the way, then only can come to a conclusion. So that's why it says, look. So buddhi, the faculty of decision making called intellect, and along with 5 organs of perception, of course packed with or packaged, nicely wrapped up with what? Sabhuti, with their modifications. But interestingly, they called Kartulakshana. So its nature is to claim that I am doer. So of the nature of the doer. So this fellow everywhere gets in, you understand? Who has decided? It's me, you understand? Who has not decided? Sorry. When I say sorry, there are some me, you understand? So that is called here Vijnanamaya Kosha. And interestingly, Pumshaha Sansara Karanam. So this becomes the cause of rebirth. This becomes the cause of all problems. So today a person is born, we all are born because of this fellow Vijnanamaya Kosha. You understand? This fellow somehow or other in the last moment, gets into everywhere and wants to take credit, but really was he able to take credit or not, don't ask, okay? You know better. But never gives up. Till the last breath, you understand? Somehow or other makes dance. Why and how also we'll see. Let us look at few more verses, okay? Nicely. Anubrajat chitta pratibimba shakti Vijnana sangya prakuter vikara Jnana kriyavan ahamitya jasram Dehendriyadishvabhimanyate vrusham. Very nicely, again what happens? Why this fellow has become very strong? Because Anubrajat means it follows. So what does it follow? Very carefully. Chitta pratibimba shakti. Chit pratibimba shakti. Chit means the awareness, that me, my nature called awareness. Pratibimba shakti, the reflection of the power of me, the consciousness. And interestingly, this fellow will see in the next verse, this fellow, he happens to be very close to it. Because if we try to look at, this is the problem, that's why somebody explained, no? Atma. So Atma has got 5 layers, okay? Like onion. So the external is called Annamaya Kosha, remove and throw. Next one, what do you do? Now start looking at this called Pranamaya Kosha. Now what you remove, like how onion peel, throw. Then third one is what? Come on. Now you have to remove Manomaya Kosha. Then Mano is trying to remove Manomaya Kosha, okay? Remove. See, look, this is Manomaya Kosha. Throw. The fourth one is called Vijnanamaya Kosha. Look, little whiter, closer, very radiant, very nice. Very tender, also smell nicely, okay? That also you have to throw it. Then finally comes what? Anandamaya Kosha. Even though you don't want to, because there is so oneness with the onion, and you remove it. Thank you. Again, also you can remove other peel also. Then where is Atma? Because if you give the example of onion, where is Atma? Where is onion? Is there anything called onion? If we take the example of onion to understand what is mind, not what is Atma. Remember this point. The perfect example of onion is to understand mind. As long as you don't look at mind, mind is very big. The moment you start looking at mind, there is nothing called mind, like onion. Onion is a big thing, but the moment you start peeling it, one after another, is there anything called onion? You are just removing peels, one after another, layers after another. Once you keep removing, finally you discover there is nothing called onion. So we take the example of onion to explain Manomaya Kosha, the mind, but people take very nicely, wow, Manomaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, like layers of onion. Mamma mia. I have heard this talk, okay? Please don't. However, coming back to the point here. So here is being said, Chita Pratibimba Sakti, because of the association, because it follows, it is accompanied by what? The reflection of the power of me, the consciousness, the awareness here. That's why it is called as Vijnanamaya Sangyaha. So it is called as Vijnanamaya Kosha, what we call as intellectual shift, where the intellect is predominant. And of course, this is nothing but Prakrute Vikara, modification of the Prakrutis. If you want to say Sattva Rajatama. Now, being that, and of course it has got Jnana Kriyavan Shakti. So Jnana Kriyavan. So that means it has got Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti. So Kriyavan means the one who is able to do. So now what happens, like the one who has, not one who is able to do, the one who is Dhanavan, Dhana Yasya Asti Dhanavan, the one who has got wealth called Dhanavan. Same thing also, the one who has Jnanam, knowledge, the one who has got power of doing functioning. So that means the one who is endowed with both knowledge and the way of functioning. In fact, because of this, only this decision making happens. Let me do, let me not do, all these things. Let me know, let me not know also. But most important part here is Aham iti. And how, what he does? Always, ajasram, many times, Aham iti. And interestingly, Deho Indriya Dikshu Abhimanyate Bhrusham. Because this is very close to the reflection of me. I am looking at the example, okay? And that's why it is called as this intellectual shift. And of course, modification of this Prakriti. Now it has got two functions, endowed with two functions. One is to know and to work. But always what it does, it always gets identified with the body and sense organs. Of course, mind also. Mana. It is exactly the example I was thinking that time. It is exactly like, this local politicians, those who hang around with the ministers all over the world, okay? This is a very good example. I was just visualizing that while talking, okay? In fact, I don't know whether in your country it is there or not. In India, we have these facilities. For example, a member of parliament cannot do many things in his or her constituency. So he can keep a representative. That can be in district level, that can be in block level, in small area you have a representative, okay? So that person, because officially will be called as a representative. So any meeting happens, another thing, that fellow can, sit there and take decisions and all this and inform him. That is what it is being done. So generally this representative are somehow or other little closer to the person. Unless you are closer, you cannot be. So you must have, some closeness will be there. Now these fellows, literally, they behave very differently. In fact, they are the decision maker and they behave sometimes worse than the main politician. You understand what I am trying to say? So they identify, you understand, not minister, they consider themselves bigger than minister sometimes. So all confusion happens, and because of these fellows. And I am not telling you jokes, most of the time the leaders are blamed because of these guys. So how this happens, the example fits here perfectly. This is Vijnanamaya Kosha, you understand? So Vijnanamaya Kosha, what it does, very nicely, what it does, because being associated with me, now follows, monitors me, gets all the energy and strength from there. So after getting all the energy and strength from me, now gets identified with the body, mind, mainly body senses and all these things. Now starts detecting terms and conditions and runs a parallel parliament. You understand? That's why hijacking all the members and does everything. You understand? This is what the Vijnanamaya Kosha. That's why what is to be done here is very nicely. That means whenever Vijnanamaya Kosha decides something, always the decision is based on what? Based on the body, senses, and the information, means the buddhindriya, jnanendriya, whatever information they bring. Okay, let us go ahead. What is all about them? Because we have to see few verses. Anadikalo yamahan subhavaha jiva samasta vyavahara bodham karoti karmanyapi purva vasanaha punyanya punyani chatatphalani. So okay, this Vijnanamaya Kosha is not somehow, somewhere it is being created. It is anadi kala, from the beginning. So that means it is very clear. It is from the beginning, it is being created. And of course, being created from the beginning, then it says, Ayam aham svabhavaha. So what is the its svabhava? Is the nature of aham, ego. So that means whenever I use the word I, the I sense come from here only. And interestingly, this is called jivaha. So jivaha means, that means jivaha means here the reflected, we say na, atma pratibimba. Jiva word name is atma pratibimba, Sanskrit. So reflected me, the reflected consciousness. What we call as another way, jiva is nothing but put together subtle body and causal body together. What in English sometimes is correct word called soul. Soul, not atma, okay? Soul is jiva. You can use the word perfectly, carefully, absolutely no problem. Because this Vijnanamaya has got all capability to pull, to keep everybody together. You understand? So that's why this jiva, this because this is embodied in that. Samasta vyavahara bodha karoti. So if you look at this thing, what happens? Now because of this reason, it carries out samast entire load of what? Transaction. So whatever transaction you see, whatever activities you do, So it is only because of this reason. All karmas, all transactions, everything is being done by this fellow only presence of this thing. And how does it do? Very simple. Purvavasana. In keeping with your previous account called vasana, your tendencies. So it does not do by itself, remember. So there is already list, there is impressions. It just follows the footpath, you understand? That's why you can see for yourself. There are certain things, without thinking you love it. There are certain things, without thinking also you hate it. Just like it happens. How it happens? Because of our Purva Vasana. And this Purva Vasana can be very well monitored with reference to a child. If you observe that nobody understands, that's why people go differently, go crazy. A child, without knowing anybody, anything, seeing a person becomes very happy. Also seeing another person becomes very unhappy. Have you not observed? Cries a lot, becomes restless. That time is, oh, this person is not good, that person is not bad. You understand, this is not good, that is not bad. All these things, good, bad, all these things we name it. It's not like that. The child is able to relate with the person with vasana. Because for the child, especially in the beginning stages, child does not have much association with the present life. That's why you can see, especially for 2.5 years, we say very carefully. Some people say 1.5 years, 2.5 years, there are some variations are there. That the child is more connected with the previous life. That's why without anything, child will be, shaking the leg as they're trying to talk something, communicate something, starts smiling, starts crying, without anything. So all the actions that a child does in the beginning days, it is related to vasana or in keeping with vasana. Still that vasana, previous life vasana is so strong that sometimes comes out. You understand? And of course that time child does not know how to talk, how to express. Imagine if the child has got power to talk in details. What will happen? First thing will say to mother, hey, you were somebody in my previous life. You understand? Then poor mother will collapse. He was so happy. And wishing the father said, you were my enemy. I have come here to take revenge with you, okay? Be careful now. Now poor father who wanted to celebrate that, look, I have become a father. Now will say, okay, now this is the time for me to sannyas, okay? Enough, let me go for a sannyas. However, joke apart. So, here the child is connected to previous life or vasanas, which is very clearly visible. So also this Vijnanamaya Kosha follows a pattern. Remember what in psychology we call as a pattern. If you observe your life, each one of us has some pattern. Either it is being created or it is just followed, by following it is being created. But most of the time, a pattern is not created. It is just followed and happens to be created. Just observe this point. Actually, today I was really analyzing one point, a very nice point. Let me share this thoughts. Because whenever I see something and I analyze it, because everything I pause and take my own time and do. So I was analyzing this Bhishma's character, those who are aware of Bhishma's character in Mahabharata. It's an amazing character that person was. And poor person was blamed by everyone. He sacrificed whole life. Son of Mother Ganga, disciple of Parsuram, the great. And not only that is not enough, happens to be son of Santanu. With all, and of course he, in his previous life, he is one of the Ashtavasu, because they stole the cow, okay? That's why he was cursed. That is the background, okay? Because he stole the cow along with 7 brothers, all the Ashtavasus, and this person was the main cause. Let us take it. That's why all other 7 were released, so he was being caught. So he, without any reason, he had to protect the throne of Hastinapura. So that was the background behind it. That's why whatever we go through in our life, it is connected to our previous life, okay? Don't forget that. So even if little bit thing happens, hey, don't worry, something somewhere I might have done it. That's why when I look at me, I am very clear and careful. Anything and everything that happens, hey, stupid, be careful, you must have done something, please allow it to happen, to go through. Coming back to the point. So this Bhishma, because to protect the throne or not allow any unwanted thing to happen, he promised, he decided not to marry. Will live life of a brahmachari. That's called Bhishma Pratigya. That's why his name was Devavrata. He turned to Bhishma. Devavrata became Bhishma because it's a very strong decision he took. And later on, he has taken many decisions. But in reality, he has never taken any decision. This is the point I would like to say related to Vijnanamaya Kosha. Because only that time you can take a decision when you are independent of the situation and yourself. If you are with the situation, if you are with your emotions, whatever decision you make, is that decision? Or you are carried away? You are helpless to accept that comes to you and you claim that this is your decision. So to make a decision means to exercise your Vijnanamaya Kosha. This is the point I am bringing it very carefully with reference to Bhishma. To bring the Vijnanamaya Kosha to the forefront, I have to be independent of what? The situation and me, which cannot happen unless there is knowledge. Can you see this point? It is impossible. That's why Bhishma could change himself towards the end of the life. That is how this Vishnu Sahasranama comes later on. Look, Bhishma could change because why? I hope you are aware of the situation. Lord Krishna had decided. In fact, that was one of the mistakes of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna had decided not to take up any weapon. He was not supposed to be part of the war. He was just supposed to be just a charioteer, supposed to witness what he did not do. That's don't ask, okay? That's another story. But physically, Lord Krishna was helpless. In fact, he picked up the wheel of a chariot. Actually, that was not wheel, the disc. His powerful disc, okay? Externally, he pulled a wheel of a chariot to kill Bhishma. Even though he was not supposed to kill, he was not supposed to pick up anyone. That was his own voice, own decision. But Lord Krishna had to do it. Of course, later on he changed, that's another point. Because through this, Lord Krishna had to teach something to Bhishma. Hey, look, you have made a mistake. What you call as your Vijnanamaya Kosha, you have utilized. You have never utilized your Vijnanamaya Kosha. Everywhere you have failed. And because you have failed utilizing your Vijnanamaya Kosha, whole life you are suffering. This is the point I want to communicate. Nothing else. You are the best in everything. Best childhood with your mother Ganga. Of course, father was not there, that's the problem. Single parents, this is the problem. So which I cannot accept it. And secondly, best guru. Everything was best. And of course, man of strength, whatnot. But what happened? Everywhere you have failed to utilize your Vijnanamaya Kosha. Because when you utilize the Vijnanamaya Kosha, when you take a decision, that time you are independent of the situation. Not being part of the situation you decide. Number one. Number two, you also are ready to take the responsibility. The consequences. When these two are there, then only you are deciding something. But generally what happens? When you are part of it, decision happens, only you murmur. You never enjoy whatever you have decided. Have you ever enjoyed with your decisions? Whether it's right or wrong is secondary. Because once you take the decision, the consequences, you are aware of the consequences and you accept, appreciate the consequences, I am sure you will start enjoying the consequences. In fact, you will start rectifying yourself. Next decision will be better, improving. That's why with reference to situation and your decision, only you murmur. And that was the life of Bhishma every moment. Have you not observed? Whether it was the case of Dhritarashtra becoming king, he did not want Dhritarashtra to become king. To accept Dhritarashtra as a king, blind person. He did not want the Draupadi to be humiliated in the court. It happened. He did not want the war to happen. It happened. So also, we do go through the same situation in our life like Bhishma. And moreover, we are protecting our dharma. Like Bhishma was protecting his dharma, okay? What was his dharma? I have given words to my father. Father was different. You had your own childhood problem. I'm sorry because I'm not supposed to criticize. Because father had his own problem, okay? Because he wanted to marry a girl. So this fellow from childhood was not staying with the father, was staying with the mother. So he wanted to please his father. He went 2 steps ahead. Don't worry. If you want to marry this lady, no problem, you marry. But I assure that lady did not want to marry. Why? Because already you have a child. So he is going to be the king. So that means in my lifetime, my child will never become a king. So what is the point of marrying you? If I don't have power and position, if I am not called as mother of the king, then what is the fun of? After some time I will be unwanted. But better at least remain as mother of king. Rajmata. So if I don't get this status, then what is the point of getting it all these things? So that's why what is to be done here? So very carefully it is being highlighted that when a person starts using Vijnanamaya Kosha, a person is able to decide everything in being independent of the situation, number one. And when you decide something being independent of the situation, you are ready to take up or you are willing to accept the consequences gracefully. There is no murmuring at all. Can you see this point? Because when there is no murmuring, then only you can grow up in life. How? He says, look, because of that reason, what happens? Now this person, punyani apunyani cha tat phalani. Of course, the person experiences both punyam, the good result, and papas. Apunyam means papa, opposite of punyam, the bad results. That means the person is always cut off in this cycle, never comes out of it. Okay, let's read the next. Bhunkte vichitra swapi yoni subajran. Nayati niriyatyaga urdhameshaha. अस्यैव विज्ञानमयस्य जाग्रत स्वप्नाद्यवस्था सुख दुःख भोगः. Says beautifully, this Vijnanamaya Kosha is something, interestingly, it is not steady all the time. Says what? First of all, because of its bhunkte experiences. And how it bhunkte? Vichitrasu api yonisu. That means, literally, a person is able to travel in different yonis, means has got a different type of births. So the person becomes an animal, becomes bird, and of course human being, of course, okay, in between. And there is no guarantee after being human being, you will be human being, remember. Straight you can be downfall, there can be downfall. If there is a good way, okay, you can remain as human being. It's not a joke, okay, to become a human being is not a joke. I'll tell you, it is very easy to win a lottery. But it's that difficult to get a human birth. However, he says, look, and not only that, ayati niryati adha urdham. Different type of experience the person has based on the birth. So it can be in higher locus, it can be in lower locus. That's why we say, including Indra is another jiva, another individual. Gandharva, Yakshiya, so they are all the celestial beings, what we call as a demigods. They are also another jiva, individual. In fact, we say if a human being does a lot of austerity, can become any demigod, absolute no problem. That's why, in fact, this is what the truth is. Those who are leaders, like president of a country, most powerful people, they must have done a lot of penance in their previous life. Without penance, without something, they cannot have this sort of popularity. Because this is what we'll see in Bhagavad Gita, it will come. This is what Vibhuti, they are Vibhuti. So wherever you see Vibhuti, the greatness, that is God. However, let us not get into that. So here he says, look, now all these things happens, and of course the worst part is that because of that reason, sukha dukkha bhogaha, one who experiences what? Both sukham, the joy, and dukkham, the sorrow. And where? He says, look, jagrat swapnadi avastha, in the waking state, in dream state, sometimes after getting up we relate, wow, I had a very good sleep I had a very good deep sleep. This fellow does not spare anything at all. So means always wants to put everywhere stamp. It's like, this is patent, okay? There are people, now new era has come. Anything and everything, like, once upon a time the era was buying the domain. So look at, think of something, buy domain and leave it, so that you will earn money after 10 years, 15 years. There are people who are still, holding just to sell in high price. Now that era is out almost. Now new era has come. Get anything and everything patent. Means there is no trademark, intellectual property. Make as your intellectual property. I remember almost 10-15 years back, that was a very good talk in Tamil Nadu. When in America somebody took the patent for turmeric. So it was a big talk in Tamil Nadu. Now forget, mommy cannot tell, mommy means the lady who is cooking, okay? Mommy cannot tell her daughter-in-law, mammy-ar cannot, this is the exact word, mammy or mother-in-law cannot tell her daughter-in-law, hey, bring manjal, bring turmeric, okay? Because already somebody has taken the patent. However, coming back to the point, this Vijnanamaya Kosha tries to put stamp everywhere. And it is the only one who claims anything and everything. And how is it? Let us look at the next verse, so that this section is completed. Dehadinishta asrama dharma karma guna abhimana satatam mameti Vijnana kosho ayam Vijnana kosho yamati prakasha prakushta sanidhyavasat paratmanah ato bhavatyesa upadhirasya yadatmadhi samsarati brahmena. Now what does it do? Because of smartness of identification, dehadinishtaha asrama dharma karma guna abhimanam satatam. Always it does what? Now starts identifying either with the body, and because it identifies the body, gross body, this is how it happens. Now it starts identifying with Annamaya Kosha, this gross body. Now, based on the body, there is ashram. So this body belongs to which ashram? Means whether I am a brahmachari, whether I am a grihastha, vanaprastha or sannyasi. Now based on that, that fellow plays the role connected to the ashramas through the body. Dharma, what are the duties I have? Based on the ashrama, duty changes. If I am brahmachari, I have duties, different duties. If I am grihastha, different duties. If vanaprastha, different, or sannyasi, another. And of course, karma, different actions I do. Guna abhimanam, of course, all my qualities. So it starts identifying with this accordingly. And when satatam, and how it does? Mama iti, as mine. This is my duty. This is my action. This is my responsibility. This is me, mine. You understand? And this is the job of what? This Vijnanamaya Kosha. And ayam, this what happens? Ati prakasa. It is really prakasa, means radiant, extremely radiant. Why? Because it is related to the reflection of me, which is chit, the awareness. It is exactly like, for example, when the water and you try to see the sun, the reflection of the sun, Now related to the reflection of sun, you can see wherever you see the reflection of the sun in the water, in the palm or wherever, related nearby also that water shines or not. It is science. That's why when we do tarpanam and all these things, we are supposed to see the reflection in the water, okay? Please understand. This is the trick, okay? Not like, oh, argyam, dadani, no. You are supposed to see. This is how, okay, how? And of course, ati prakasham. Why? Prakushta sanidhyavasat paratmana. This is the point he highlights. Because he is closely associated with the self. Because of the proximity with me, that's why. And ataha, problem is here, because of that reason, the upadhi, the superimposition happens. And because of that reason, what happens? Identifying with the body, mind, senses. Now what happens? It starts samsarati, samyak rupa sarati, keeps moving, keeps moving, means keeps taking birth or gets into different, let us say, yonis, with what? Brahmena, with delusion. So in short, now today if I am born again and again, or all sort of confusion that is in me, now it is the work of this Vijnanamaya Kosha. And this Vijnanamaya Kosha presents me in such a way. Sometimes I myself do not know really how I stand. Do you see this point? That's why what is to be done? Remember, this is not me either. So when you understand this is not me either, that means what? Please understand. Whenever this decision making faculty forces you to decide something, by some time. But this decision making faculty makes you so helpless. You don't have much choice other than deciding. Have you not observed that? With certainty. No, let us do. That's why, by time, with reference to any decision. Okay, what is wrong in it? Because today what we decide, tomorrow we discover it is wrong. Have you not seen? Very rarely we appreciate quick decisions, very rare. And that time the quick decisions are appreciated when you are independent of the situation. Can you see this point? If you are not independent of the situation, your quick decision always leads you more confusion and delusion or not. That's why learn to be independent of decision making process. More of it we'll see tomorrow. Please close your eyes. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.